Alright, I'm going to do a quick review of my 2023 m340i. This is one of the new facelift cars that came out here in 2023. It's one of the first ones that's been delivered, so I thought it might be interesting to talk through some of the changes they've made. This is includes the M Sport package, has the cooling and high performance tire option. It's Portimao blue with cognac Sensitech leather. For some reason BMW decided that cognac was not a great color for leather, and it's only available as Sensitech. But it's okay because Sensitech is actually a pretty nice fabric as far as fabric goes. The other changes you can see are there are a lot less buttons in the interior. We'll go over this later, but the screen is bigger and now spans the... So the center console has changed. You can see that there is no longer anything sticking out of it. You have this little thing that selects gears, a button for park. iDrive controller is a little more integrated. There's no buttons for the climate control anymore. You can see that at the bottom of the screen there's touchscreen controls for all the climate control functions. Really annoying thing is that there's no way to easily or quickly turn on seat heaters should you want that. And in general, there's a lot less buttons in the cabin. You can see the lights are all push button. Steering wheel has standard amount of buttons on it. Paddle shifters. The 8-speed automatic, you can only shift with the paddle shifters. There's no longer really a lever sticking out for you to adjust the gears. Coming outside, we have the rear bumper. The diffuser is revised and it's okay looking. It's kind of funky, very angular. Has some little strakes to make it look like a diffuser, although they're more vertical than under the car, so more a styling exercise than anything else. The exhaust tips are large and a little silly. You can see that there's a much smaller exhaust pipe and this finisher on the bumper, but this is sort of what's all the rage these days. Typical lights, little bit of smoked plastic to color. They light up nicely. Neat effects there. Portimao blue is a pretty color. It certainly has some purple tint to it when the sunlight reflects off of it. It's a darker blue in the shade, but certainly is lighter when sunlight's hitting it. And then the front bumper. BMW went to these new headlights, new front bumper, a little more angular looking. You can see the shutters for the cooling system so they can run more efficiently with the shutters closed given what temperature you want. Interesting LED lights with the cornering lights. We don't get the good adaptive LEDs, at least programmed by default here. There's a neat little unlock sequence for the headlights. Other than that, not a whole lot's changed about the car. The wheels and tires are the same. My car came with the two 25, 40, 19 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. And in the rear, there's a 255 35 19. All the USB ports now are USB-C. Not sure if all of the G20s are like that. Certainly a lot of nice lighting, both in the doors and underneath. The back seat is reasonably roomy. Still a fairly compact sedan. decent pops and bangs coming out of the exhaust. Thank you, sir, for letting me by. Looks like the transmission did go back into regular drive mode, which is annoying. I'm not sure if there's a way to lock it in manual mode. Feels great. All 382 horsepower seem to be present. Seems like BMW had a lot of opportunity to allow for customization of the instrument cluster, and you can certainly change the layout, but not the values or colors of things shown. The sport modes show this display in this sort of red color. Comfort is this nice beige, and you have the Eco Pro, that has comforting waves of blue to help you drive slower. Managed to get about 30 miles to the gallon driving the car home, so I guess that's good. I'm really going to hate this climate menu. It takes a little while to get into it. It doesn't seem to be a discrete function to turn the seat heaters on. There's just this automatic seat heater, which in order to turn on, you've got to turn to very high and it cooks your butt. So that's a little interesting and annoying. Otherwise, the climate control seems to work fairly well. The car handles mid-quarter undulations and bumps very well. Dampers in this car are some of the better ones I've seen out of a factory BMW car. posture, but it doesn't remember the content. So if I want to have my G meter on in Sport Plus and then switch it back to the trip meter or the adaptive driving visualization in comfort mode, doesn't seem to be any way to do that. You have to manually switch it. As you can see, I've gotten onto the freeway. Let's try out the driving assistance. So we're in assisted driving mode now. The indicators come up on the left side of the dashboard. The car gives me about 30 seconds of hands-free and then blinks, but it seems to work fairly well. Lane keeping is solid, more solid than previous generations. The hand detection seems to be just contact. It doesn't seem to be actually weighted, so you don't have to move the wheel a significant amount or turn it like you do in the Tesla, but it seems to handle this fairly well. There's a little bit of weaving back and forth. It hasn't figured out that we're on a off-ramp, so it kept going at freeway speeds, which is a little interesting. Well, we're in Assisted Driving Plus. It's complaining at me to stay attentive, probably because it can't see my eyes. But the car seems to be doing a pretty good job holding the lanes and staying an appropriate distance behind the car in front of me. Lane changes work as expected. This car is certainly well screwed together. It might be I'm just jaded by owning a Tesla so long, but there's not really any squeaks or rattles or funny noises. It's really quiet inside, well insulated from the outside world. There's very little tire noise or wind noise from the car. At cruise, you can't really hear the exhaust at all. All you hear is a little bit of road noise. But yeah, it's very, very quiet, well screwed together. The steering wheel and the rest of the ergonomics of the cabin are nice. It's a little compact feeling from a width perspective, but certainly not bad. It doesn't have the spacious width that the 5 and larger BMWs have, but like I said earlier, it's pretty good modern equivalent of an E34 5 Series. Yeah, like I said, throttle tip-in is a little more aggressive than other BMWs. I remember back in the E36 generation especially, they were a little interesting to drive because the gas pedal was so stiff, and BMW has opted to go the other way with a extremely aggressive throttle tip-in. Rest of the stalks are pretty much as you'd expect. Well damped, high quality. They feel really nice when you move them around. I did opt for paying extra for the Sensitech dashboard, so you get a line of stitching and not a lot else. I mean, it's normally just plastic, so the Sensitech does add a little bit of niceness to something that's in your view at all times, but not a huge deal. The heads-up display does work with polarized sunglasses, but it's pretty dim. I have the brightness turned all the way up, which is probably going to be annoying at night. Another nice feature is that the car will lock itself as soon as you get far enough away with comfort access. I suspect this is not new with the facelift, but it's nice to see. As you can see, without sun, it's a much darker, almost purpley blue. I really like it.